It was the start of sophomore year when I moved into my new apartment just off campus. The place was modest but had a certain charm: hardwood floors, vintage fixtures, and a rent that didn't break the bank. My roommate, Alex, was a quiet, studious type who mostly kept to himself. We had an unspoken understanding. Shared spaces were to be respected, and personal boundaries were paramount. The first few weeks went by without incident. We'd exchange polite nods in passing and occasionally share a meal if our schedules aligned. However, as September faded into October, I began to notice oddities. It started subtly. I'd wake up in the morning to find the living room window open, despite having closed it the night before. Small items, my keys, a book, a coffee mug, would be misplaced or moved. I chalked it up to forgetfulness or perhaps Alex's doing, though it seemed out of character for him. One evening, after a grueling study session at the library, I returned home to an eerily quiet apartment. The lights were off, and Alex's door was slightly ajar. Assuming he was asleep, I treaded lightly to avoid disturbing him. As I passed his room, I couldn't help but glance inside. The room was empty, not just devoid of Alex, but completely barren. No furniture, no personal belongings, just four walls and a window. Panic set in. Had he moved out without telling me? But his shoes were still by the entrance, and his jacket hung on the coat rack. I retreated to my room, locking the door behind me. Sleep was elusive that night. Every creak of the floorboards, every whisper of the wind outside sent my imagination into overdrive. The next morning, I confronted Alex, or at least I tried to. His door was now closed, and soft murmurs emanated from within. Gathering courage, I knocked. "Alex, we need to talk." The murmuring stopped abruptly. After a pause, the door creaked open. Alex stood there, eyes sunken and weary. "Is everything okay?" I asked, trying to mask my unease. He nodded slowly. "Yeah, just haven't been sleeping well." I wanted to press further, to ask about the empty room, the disturbances, but something in his demeanor told me to drop it. Days turned into weeks. The disturbances escalated. Shadows flitted across my peripheral vision. Whispered voices echoed in the dead of night, and Alex became increasingly reclusive, rarely emerging from his room. One night, unable to bear the tension, I decided to investigate. Armed with a flashlight, I approached his door. It was unlocked. Pushing it open, I was met with a chilling sight. The room was empty again, but this time the walls were adorned with scribbled messages. "He's watching. Don't trust the whispers. Leave before it's too late." A cold draft sent shivers down my spine. Turning around, I came face to face with Alex, or rather, what used to be Alex. His eyes were voids of darkness, his expression twisted in anguish. "You shouldn't be here," he whispered, voice layered with an otherworldly resonance. Before I could react, the room spun, darkness enveloping me. I awoke the next morning in my bed, drenched in sweat. Rushing to Alex's room, I found it as it was when I first moved in. Furnished, lived in, as if nothing had happened. Alex greeted me in the kitchen, a warm smile on his face. "Morning? Sleep well?" I nodded hesitantly, questions swirling in my mind. Was it all a dream? A hallucination? To this day, I don't have answers. But every so often, when the night is at its darkest, I hear the whispers, and I know that some doors are best left unopened.